The question is, would you run a red dot optic on your concealed carry? Welcome back, and thanks for joining Todd the Gun Guy. Today, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of running red dot on your concealed carry. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you guys currently running red dot optics on your concealed carry, or don't you run them for certain reasons? Leave those reasons below for good and for bad. That way our audience can look back, read this conversation if they're trying to make a decision, should I use an optic, should I not? Today I run with the P365 and I do have the 15 round magazine. I want the most capacity that I could have. I'm running everything standard right from the manufacturer. And I carry this inside the waistband holster on the right side. And of course, I also have experience with the Leupold Delta Point Pro on my SIG P320X5 Legion. So that's more just for target practice. So I do have experience both with the red dot optics and the iron sights. So we are going to jump right into this thing and look at an article from concealedcarry.com. And this was written by E. Flanagan. Believe it or not, this was back August 17th of 2018. So this has been going on for some time, right? If they're writing an article back then, it's really prevalent now that most people have a optic on their concealed carry. So let's talk about some of the pros first, and then we'll talk about some of the cons after. They say shooting with the red dot is more instinctive. In other words, when you're out looking at somebody in front of you, you're really, and you should focus on the front dot, the front of the sight. With the red dot, you don't have to worry about the rear sight. So you're going to only focus on the red dot and what's out in front of you, not just the rear sight. From the draw to trigger press is shortened with practice. So that's the time when you draw your weapon, acquire target, pull the trigger. That's what they're talking. It's going to speed the process. And I have to tell you, this is 100% true. If you don't practice, that will not happen. You'll have to try to find that red dot. You won't be pulling any trigger. That's going to come up in the cons, but let's stick with the pros right now. Number 3 in a pro, okay? Red dot can make shooting easier for those with aging eyes. That's 100%. I've got bifocals right now, and it's a bear sometimes when I'm at the range. If I have my full prescription and I have my 9mm on me and I'm trying to find the iron sights, yeah, it makes it tough. I have to admit, with the red dot, it's absolutely going to help aging eyes. Number 4, they're saying it's easier to be accurate at a distance with the red dot. We understand it says here that 25 yards is typically rare in a concealed carry situation. They say most attacks occur within 7 yards or less. But long story short, you're going to be able to get further shots if you have to. Okay, let's talk about some of the cons, some of the downsides. We're going to talk about some they've listed and some that I think that are important too. Number 1, the downside, red dots are bulky. They are. I mean, let's look at that right there. My red dot, look how big that is. So if that's on my side, it's going to print, it's going to catch on things and get in the way. They do make them smaller. This happens to be the Leupold Delta Point Pro, but absolutely they're going to be bigger, bulkier, wider. Number 2, they're talking about purchasing and mounting the red dot can be expensive. You better believe it. Luckily for me, this one mounted direct to my P320X5 Legion, so I didn't have to get a plate. But we're talking several $100s. I can't give you the exact amount I paid because my wife will know. But let's just say this was a couple $100 for a good one, right? If you want to get a good one, and for concealed carry, if you're thinking that option, I would not try to save money on your red dot for concealed carry. Number 3, effective red dot use requires training even on a known gun, 100%. And that's where I was going when I said they're quicker, easier to acquire, etc. I've got to tell you, with the P320 X5 Legion, it took me, I hate to say it took me about a month, 5 weeks even, to really get comfortable with this thing. First 2 times out at the range, I wanted to get rid of it, wanted to sell it. I didn't want to deal with it. Brought it home and actually practiced with my iTarget Pro, getting on the target, and then it was just quicker, faster, from the draw, from the holster, and now I love it. Again, this is not concealed carry for me. This is target shooting only. So I've got a little more time. I don't have the stress. So it's not going to be saving my life. So I'm in a more controlled area. So I'm going to learn, but it definitely is second nature now for me during target shooting. Number 4 in their cons, the dot size and brands are often not interchangeable. So what they're saying is the MOA on it, right? It depends on so many feet at a target. So if you're looking at a target that's 10, 15 yards away, a 3 MOA or a 6 MOA or a 10 MOA, the dot could be really tiny or it could get large and cover the entire target depending on, you know, how far away your target is and stuff like that. So that's what you're saying. Typically when you get a red dot, it's one size and that's it. You can't adjust it, make it bigger or smaller as you go. So that's what they had to say at concealedcarry.com. Let's talk about some of the things and the reasons why I don't currently use one now. You can see, let's just say I used that red dot on my concealed carry. See how big and thick it is? I know they've got lower profile red dots out there that are available, but I think it's big and bulky. It's battery operated, guys. What if the battery is expired and you need this to save your life and you don't have a rear sight? This one I didn't opt to get it. I know you can do that. You can have some of those RMRs and different things with the rear sight, and then you just have the front sight to worry about. For me, I don't want to have that worry that my red dot is not going to turn on. They've got motion activated red dots. What if it doesn't turn on in motion? Then you're out. Iron sights are always going to be there. Yes, they can get knocked. Yes, you could drop them and they'll need to be adjusted. But for the most part, they're always going to work. They're always going to be there. You point and pull the trigger, acquire the front sight, and you're good to go. You're going to have less to catch on, less showing, less printing. It's what I grew up with and what I'm born with was the iron sights, point and pull the trigger. And it's just less coming out of the holster to snag on, in my opinion. The other thing I want to bring up is this is soon going to be a pocket gun. I currently have the 15 round magazine just because I like having the extra capacity. But in the future, I do believe I'm going to put the 10 flush in here, make this one a pocket gun, and then I'm going to get the 365 XL to carry on my side. And of course, I'm not going to have the red dot optic. So these are just a couple of the pros and cons, what's good, what's bad about it. Again, leave your thoughts, feelings in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Let me know what you guys do and why you do it. You guys use my coupon code TODD10, that's TODD10, and you guys will get a 10% discount on your Olight products. Be safe, stay vigilant, and until next time, Todd the Gun Guy!